Hi everyone, this is Liza and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to go over 5 books that I read recently in order to buy my next book. And I have it over here, so I'll get it in a bit. But if you don't know and you're new to my channel, I'm doing this thing in 2023 where I read 5 of my own books before I am able to buy something. And I say something because we'll see at the end of this video. So yes, I want to go over the 5 books that I read, and the first one, I don't have a physical copy. It was one of my book of the month books from, I don't know, like a couple years ago, and I don't have the copy because I gave it to my sister, and when I asked for it back, she said she lost it. So I actually read this off of Libby. It is Nothing to See Here by Kevin Wilson, and so this one I actually got as an add-on to one of my birthday book boxes, but I wasn't really interested, so I gave it to my sister. But I wanted to read it because my book of the month app, I want to clear all the books by the end of this year. Let's see. Kevin Wilson's best book yet. My gosh, I didn't like it that much. A moving and uproarious novel about a woman who finds meaning in her life when she begins caring for 2 children with remarkable and disturbing abilities. Lillian and Madison are unlikely roommates and yet inseparable friends at their elite boarding school. But then Lillian had to, oh my god, this synopsis is so long. But basically you have these 2 best friends, and one of them is not really a good friend, but anyways, they meet again years later, and so the main character is taking care of her old friend's stepchildren who burst into flames. Yeah, I thought it was okay. I gave it a 2 stars, and I just didn't see the overall point to the story, which I know there's a meaning of accepting people as who they are, no matter what their quirks and stuff like that, and just be overall accepting. I don't know. I didn't really like it. And so moving on to my next book, and I'm doing this in the order of when I read them. So I read that one first, and then the second one actually gave me a little bit of a book slump, not because it's technically a bad book or anything, but it just made me so depressed, and that is Kristen Higgins' Pack of the Moon. And I've been hearing such good things about this book, so I was like, yes, I want to read it, and I never got into the mood because I know it's going to be so sad. Just reading the synopsis, you know it's going to be heartbreaking. You have the main characters, Joshua and Lauren. Lauren was diagnosed with a terminal illness, and so they already knew she was going to pass away soon, and so they're getting ready for that, and so Lauren really wants Joshua to be able to have a happy life after she passes away, so she writes little letters for him that he opens up every month after she passes away. And so yeah, it was really sad. It's told in alternating point of views. You have Joshua's point of view during his life after his wife passed away. You have Lauren's point of view in the past, so it'll be months before she passed away, and then you also have her letters that she wrote to Joshua. So overall, it was really it was really nice seeing what Lauren did to help Joshua move on, but it was also really sad, and I guess I expected things to kind of be more uplifting and more hopeful closer to the middle of the book, but it was in the last chapter where I was like, all right, I have hope for Joshua. But yeah, I don't want you to be turned off by this. Just know that it is pretty sad. You might have to mix in some uplifting books in between, but this definitely took me a couple of weeks to read. Okay, the next one, wait, is this my next one? Wait, hold on, let me see. Oh, sorry, I totally skipped one. So the second one I read was not Pack Up the Moon, it was actually Shatter Me. So this is the second book that I read. Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi. Sorry, I keep pronouncing her name wrong, I think. I should know by now because she's such a famous author. But Shatter Me, I tried reading this a long time ago, and I think I just got through the first chapter, and I was like, not for me right now. But everyone keeps saying how good it is and how much better it gets. And so I'm like, I really want to jump on this bandwagon and see what everyone is talking about, right? And so I was like, this is the month I'll just finally read it, because it fills in my bingo card thing with the mixed genre, so it's fantasy romance. I would say it's really heavy on the romance. Not heavy, not rated R romance, but it's just a lot of insta love in here. So I will have to say I overall enjoyed this, but it took a while, and that is one of the reasons why I tend to not DNF books, because there have been a lot of instances where I did not feel the book for the longest time, and then by the end of the book I'm like, oh, I really like this one. So I actually gave this a 3-star, which in the beginning I was not really feeling this book at all. I was like, maybe it's 2-star, I don't know if it's a DNF, but eventually near the end I was like, okay, now I see where this is going. It's opening to a new world. You have Juliet, who has these weird powers, not powers that she would like, because if anyone touches her skin, she kills them anyone she touches, they die. And so you start off with her in this cell. She's like captured. There's talk about a reestablishment that is basically promising to make the world a better place. And I don't know, there's that, but they captured her because, I don't know, they want something with her. And she wakes up in the cell and there's someone next to her. And so you learn more about like who that is and how they known each other before. I don't want to get too much into it, but basically by the end of the book, I knew more about the world, and so I am now very interested to find out what is going on, especially if a lot of people are saying it gets a lot better. I'm excited. So that's my second book, and then I talked about my third book, and my fourth book is Alice Feeney, Daisy Darker. I absolutely love this book. It's actually a 5-star for me, and I have heard people give mixed reviews. Like people love it or people hate it. People think it's boring. I loved it. The reason why I still really wanted to read this book is because, you know, people who did like it said that there was like a crazy twist at the end, and they weren't wrong. I love the twist. I get it. Like I looked online and read Goodreads reviews and stuff to see why people didn't like it. And I can see where they're coming from. They said stuff like it's boring, the rhymes were stupid, the twist was trying too hard, but I came in very blind. Like I didn't know what Daisy Darker was. I didn't know that that was the person's name. I thought they just meant like Daisy has a dark life. And there's like a picture on the hill here. I honestly did not know what it was about. So let me read the synopsis so I don't spoil anything for you. After years of avoiding one another, Daisy Darker's entire family is assembling for Nana's 80th birthday party in Nana's crumbling Gothic house in a tiny tidal island. They're finally back together one last time, and when the tide comes in, they will be cut off from the rest of the world for 8 hours. The family arrives, each of them harboring secrets. Then, at the stroke of midnight, as the storm rages, Nana is found dead. An hour later, the next family member follows. Trapped on an island where someone is killing them one by one, the Darkers must reckon with their present mystery, as well as their past secrets before the tide goes out and all is revealed. With a wicked wink to Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None, Daisy Darker's unforgettable twist will leave the readers reeling. And it definitely left me reeling. It's one of those books that I kept thinking about over and over after I read it, and I honestly wanted to reread it to see what I missed, but I had books to read. I had other books to read. So yeah, I probably read the synopsis before, but I totally forgot about it. So I didn't know it was Nana's 80th birthday. I didn't know she died. I didn't know anyone else was going to die. I went into it blindly, but knowing that, you know, you're supposed to know that anyways, it's still a good mystery, because there's Nana drops dead, right? And there's like clues around the house, like the rhymes. I actually like the rhymes, and I'll read to you one of the rhymes here. You know what, maybe I won't, because if it's too deep into the book, I don't want to spoil anything. But yeah, I liked it. If you read And Then There Were None, you may know more about it, but I haven't read that book. I loved it so much. 5 stars. Okay, and the last book that I read was The Luckiest Girl Alive. Basically, after Pack of the Moon, I was like, I don't want to read anything else. I just give me all the murders, okay? Luckiest Girl Alive. Wait, this one, did it have a murder? No, I don't know why I said that. But it is still like a mystery type of thriller, because you're trying to figure out what is going on with this girl, Ani Finelli's past life. Read the trigger warnings for this, because I was kind of shocked reading about this. I was like, oh my gosh, you know, nowadays with things happening, this can be pretty disturbing for people to read. But read trigger warnings. I will say rape, eating disorder, but there's something else in there that is a big part of the story, that is part of the mystery. And so read trigger warnings if you're particularly sensitive to certain subjects or topics. But you have Ani Finelli. She's like, you know, living the perfect life. She is getting married to this guy who's like perfect on paper. I don't know. He's like, I'm guessing he's rich. Yeah, he's rich. So yeah, she's getting married. She has her life like perfect now, but something happened in her past that was really traumatizing, and now they're doing a documentary about it, and so she has to talk about what happened in the past. And so there's like alternating timelines, her life now with her perfect job, her perfect fiance, and going back to how it was in her like charter boarding school or something like that. I think she was in high school, I forget. So yeah, a lot of things happen in her past, and then you get up to the documentary, what the documentary is about. And yeah, also a good example of a book that I wasn't feeling, and if I had DNF'd it, I wouldn't have realized how much I enjoyed it. The first half of the book was pretty boring for me, and then things started happening with the documentary, and I was like, oh shit. So yes, I read this so I can watch the Netflix movie with Mila Kunis. So the fact that I actually really like this book, I'm so excited to watch a movie. I'm gonna make my husband watch it tonight with me. So yes, I think I gave this 4 stars just because like the first half is really boring. So yes, my first book that I read was Nothing to See Here. I think that's what it was called. The second book I read was Shatter Me, and I gave this 3 stars. Third book is Path of the Moon. I gave it 4 stars. And then Daisy Darker, my 5-star book this month, or this round. And then the last one, Luckiest Girl Alive, I give it 4 stars. Okay, so now to see what I actually bought. So initially when I did this, I said the challenge was read 5 before I buy 1 book, and now I said 1 thing, and that's because I actually bought this darn book set. So yes, that's how interested I am. I think it had a lot of potential for this first book, you know, setting up the next book, so I am excited to read this whole thing. I think this is like the first trilogy, and these are the more recent ones, and in fact Imagine Me recently came out. But yeah, I think that just buying the box set made sense because it was cheaper as a bundle, and I know I have like 2 copies of this one now, but that's okay. So yeah, this is what I bought with my buy 5 then buy thing, and it's so bad because my husband's like, you know what, do whatever you want to do, and I will. So hello world, you won't forget me. Yeah, if you read this series, go ahead and tell me down below what you thought of it without spoilers. But yeah, I can't wait to read this. I'll probably read like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll be my 5 next books, and then I'll be able to buy another book. Wish me luck. All right, thank you guys so much for joining me again today. I will see you next time. Bye.